What's up, G?
What up, man? How you doing?
Man, I'm good, bro. So, come here to kind of learn about you today, man. I met you here recently. Don't know that much. Know you've been through a lot, and man, let's get into
I've been
it, bro.
through a little bit. First off, my name's G. What's up, everybody out there in the world? Well, 2.5 years ago, I got shot and paralyzed. Growing up my whole life, I was a soccer player. Played soccer up into college, played at Louisiana College and stuff, and I was an athlete, got into bodybuilding and things like that, and I was up in Oregon, and I was living at my buddy's house. It was cool up there. I wasn't living there anymore. I was up on vacation. I used to live there, then I went back for vacation, and someone broke in. They shot me. I got in a shootout with them.
No shit.
Yeah, so I had a 12 gauge next to the bed.
Wait, so where are y'all at where you have a 12 gauge next to the bed?
All
Wait,
right,
you're visiting and you have a 12 gauge next to, what's up with, how does this happen?
All right, so so I'm up in Oregon. My buddy owns a record label.
Okay.
And so I was in the guest room, and it was where the ammo closet was and everything. And there happened to be, there was like the ammo closet, the 12 gauge, like he had one of his guns in there. And I'm sleeping one night.
So you weren't laying there waiting on somebody?
No, I'm not like laying there like holding the 12 gauge like this. I wish a motherfucker would.
Yeah.
And so I'm laying there and I hear the walls shaking and stuff. My buddy lived on the Columbia River, and he had like there's a big window in the room that I stayed in, and I heard it shaking. Well, I jump up and I'm like, oh shit, what the fuck's going on down there? It sounds like someone's kicking in the door. My buddy has a pretty big house. And well, I hear the dog barking and shit, so I jump up. I grab the 12 gauge. I mean, shit, dude, I'm from Louisiana. I'm like, everyone's got a gun down here.
Yeah.
And up there, and it's kind of the same way. It's not the same at all in Portland, but up in Oregon, the Oregon state is kind of the same way with guns. It's kind of open. It's real country down in the south. So I jump up. I hear it. I grab the shotgun. I'm butt-ass naked, dude. I'm butt-ass naked. I just got home from the gym. So what's crazy is I had a great leg day. And I had a great leg day at the gym. I go back, I take a shower, I smoke a joint with my homie, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to bed, like I'm tired. I'm fucking laying there butt naked, and I jump up, grab the gun, and I'm like holding the gun, pointing at the door. I know someone's breaking in, and I think, there's no way I can die naked. Not a chance I'm about to die naked. If something happens, I ain't gonna die naked. I'm not gonna come in here, I'm just laying here naked with a fucking shotgun next to me. So I'm pulling up my shorts, and as soon as I pull them up and I put my hand back on the pump, boom, the door kicks open and we shoot each other. No words were said, no nothing. We just boom, shot each other. And shit, that was it. We shot each other. I flew backwards. He flew backwards. His buddies carried him out, so I was told. That's what they said on the security cameras, because my buddy had cameras. My buddy had a really big house. And they carried him out. I flew backwards. I just kind of laid there. I was like, oh, fuck. This is it. I really just got shot this time. I got shot in the lungs.
Really?
Yeah, so bullet went through my arm, went in through my lung cavity, came out my back over here. And I'm laying there, I'm like, all right, in the movie, like the Rundown or something like that with The Rock, or like Walking Tall, he like grabs the shotgun, he's like, and like cocks it one fucking handed. Well, I look over, I'm like, all right, there's a gun. I go to grab it, I go to lift it up and do that shit. Did not work at all. Didn't work. I could not pick it up. I'm like, ah. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get to the bathtub and I'm gonna hide. I'm laying there, and really I'm dying. I can't breathe. I'm like dying. So my arm is paralyzed. Both my legs are paralyzed. And I flip myself over.
Did you know that like right then?
No. I had no idea I was paralyzed.
You just were in shock. You got shot and you didn't want to die.
Yeah, I knew I didn't want to die. I'm not thinking, oh, my legs don't work. I'm thinking, this would happen when you get shot. You can't move.
Yeah.
So I flip myself over. And and I'm like thinking like, all right, like you got to get somewhere, you got to get safe. I crawl one-handed, just with my left hand. Grab the carpet, I pull forward, throw the shotgun forward, grab the carpet, and drag myself about 30 feet across the floor to the bathroom. And once I get there, here comes my buddy Mitchell. He runs in and flips me over. And he's like, yo, GG, you know, you're good. He's like, what happened? I'm like, I got shot in the chest. And I'm pointing right here. Because when you get shot, you don't know where you get shot. You just feel the impact. So I got shot here. I'm telling him I got shot here. And he like finally he finds it. There's blood everywhere because I just drugged myself like 30 feet. Blood everywhere. And finally he calls. He's like, what do I do? I'm like, call our buddy who owns the house. He's trying to call him. Over me. I'm like dying. He's over me. He has no phone service at all. 0. And I'm like, what the fuck? He's like, gee, I gotta go. I don't have any phone service. Takes one step away. He's like, what do I do? I'm like, call 911. I'm gonna die. And so I'm laying there and I'm like, well, shit. I'm telling Mitchell, I'm like, I've been shot in the chest. I don't really know what's going on. He flips me over and like I said, he calls 911 finally. Well, when he calls 911, they ask him like what happened. We tell him everything that happened. He's sitting there, he's holding the blood. He's holding like a washcloth on me. And honestly, shout out to my buddy Mitchell. He really saved my life. But I remember he didn't know what to do. He did not know what to do.
Well, I mean, that's not something you prepare for, man.
It's not.
Yeah, unless you're in war or something, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. It's not at all. So he's like, what do I do? And I like point to the laundry basket. I'm like, Mitchell, there's a washcloth up there. Grab a towel, put pressure on where I got shot. Grabs a towel and puts pressure on me. 911 is like, the police are there, but we can't find your house. Yeah. And I hear that. I'm like, what? And Mitchell's like, and I'm like trying to breathe. My eyes are rolling back in my head. He is literally slapping me in my face, screaming, you're not going to die, bud. It's going to be okay. You're not going to die. And like slapping me in my face awake. I'm like, I'm real deal dying.
Damn.
Yeah, I was dying. And so he's like, I got to go get the police. And I'm like, what? He's like, I got to go get them. They can't find the house. So I like shake my head. I'm like, okay. And I'm like looking at him, talking with my eyes. He goes and gets the police. Well, on the house, they had a glass security door and then like big cathedral doors at the front that closed automatically. And he goes out the front doors. Boom, they both auto close and auto lock.
Oh, shit.
Behind him.
Oh,
yeah.
shit, man. God.
Yeah, dude. So now the police.
And you don't know this, huh?
I have
You're
no
up
idea.
there.
I'm up 3 stories up in the house, fucking dying.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, oh shit, I'm alone. This is it. They don't have to leave me. This is it. So, I'm laying there, and then I hear boom, boom, boom. I'm thinking that these motherfuckers have come back. I'm like, Mitchell's down there in a shootout with these motherfuckers. So I get to flopping around. I'm like a fucking fish out of water. I'm flopping around. I'm like, I'm going to get to that motherfucking tub this time. You got me fucked up. I'm getting in the tub this time. God. And my idea is if I get in the tub, I can get on my back and get the shotgun on me. I can cock it down, and then I can throw it over my shoulder, and I can point it at the door, and I can squeeze. At least I'll get one more shot out.
Right.
So if I get one more shot, at least I can feel safe. What I didn't realize was it was the police and the paramedics kicking the doors down, trying to get back in the house. So, paramedics get up there. Well, the police get up there first. And the cop, I'll never forget, he runs in, looks at me, and he says, "You're going to be okay." That was it. He just said, "You're going to be okay." Other cop runs in, busts open a thing of gauze. And he takes his finger, wraps the gauze around his finger. He sticks his finger knuckle deep into my chest, into my lung cavity with that gauze, and packs it. Just.
You're sitting here awake, remembering all this.
I'm wide awake. Yeah, I'm wide awake.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not wide awake because
Right.
I'm dying, but I'm conscious. I'm completely conscious. And then in the middle of it, he goes, "Wait, are you sure this is the packing gauze?" And in my heart, and I'm like, I'm conscious enough to understand these things. And I'm like, oh no, oh no, oh no. And then the other guy's like, no, I'm sure. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck what it is. You just get me out of here. Y'all seem like y'all doing the right thing. Whatever you're doing is working. And I can feel his finger, like, in my lung cavity. I can feel it all. Shock only goes so far.
Yeah.
And they take me down the gurney. I'm thinking to myself, they got my head laying off of it backwards with my throat open. I'm like, I can't breathe. I'm thinking they're trying to kill my ass or something. And they get me in the ambulance. The news crew is there. All the paramedics, the news crew, neighbors, everything is there. And then I remember the police officer, he looked at me and he said, in the back of the ambulance, he said, what is your name? And I just looked at him and closed my eyes. He said, what's your name? I looked at him and closed my eyes again. I'm like, if I try to talk, they're not going to think it's that serious. I look at him again.
So you thought that
yeah,
time?
I thought that. At this time, I'm like, I have to stay quiet. They need to know that I'm really hurt.
Mm-hmm.
They need to know I can't breathe. And third time, he says, what's your name? I close my eyes again, and I open them again to let them know, yo, I can't talk. Like, this is serious. I never opened my eyes again.
Really?
I'm 21 minutes from the hospital. I was about 1.5 minutes, maybe. He only had a chance to ask me what my name was 3 times. And so, closed my eyes. I opened my eyes to them opening the ambulance doors at the hospital. And so I was out the whole time. That was the first time I coded. So I died in the back and coded. They gave me an emergency thoracotomy, which means that they took a tube, they cut me open, and then once they cut me open, they shoved a tube inside of my lung cavity. They let the blood drain out, and when the blood stopped draining out, they put a bag on it, and they would breathe for me with the bag, and they just pumped me.
Okay.
And so I wake up, and I'm like looking around. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, I know how long. I know that I've been out. I'm like, holy shit. I just like woke up. I go down the hallway of the hospital, and like the lights going over you like in the movies.
Yeah.
Dude, that shit's real.
Yeah.
That shit's real, bro. Yeah, I'm like,
Gosh, man.
and all I'm thinking is, oh, I'm good. I made it to the hospital. I'm not gonna die. And then I get to surgery, and they call me out. They're like, we have a John Doe, GSW to the chest, a gunshot wound to the chest. And they're like, we don't have no name, no age. And then I have 1995 tattooed on my chest. So here in the background, he's got 1995 on his chest. And they're like, all right, we have a John Doe, GSW, 25, 26-year-old male, starting anesthesia. And that's what I hear.
I can't believe how detailed, like how you remember so vividly all these details, man. That's insane.
I remember everything. And then I remember I had a big-ass beard at the time, like a beard like about out to here. And I remember they stuck that anesthesia mask on my face, and I just woke back up, and I can't breathe again with this mask, and I get to wiggling. I'm like, oh, shit, no. And they're holding my head, and I turn my head like the mask is on, and I go like this, like that. And I see a little gap out the top corner of my mask, and I'm like, oh, I can breathe out of that. And I go, and then I woke up 36 hours later in ICU. That one big breath I took knocked my ass right out of that anesthesia. Dude. And I woke up 36 hours later. I had the second to largest breathing tube that they could put in you, shoved down my throat. I was Velcroed down to the table, like to the bed. I couldn't move. And when I woke up, I just looked around, and I was like, okay, I'm alive. I was like, I'm alive. At first, I'm not going to lie, I thought I was dead, and I thought I was in the Matrix. You know?
Matrix, yeah.
Okay, so in the new Matrix movie, they have like...
I haven't seen it.
Okay, you like wake up and like they like leave the Matrix, and like they wake up in this like alien pod. And so it's really weird. When I woke up, they had me on a bunch of fentanyl and stuff. Like, God, and so I woke up at 3:30 in the morning with just blue low-level lights around me in the room. And I'm like, oh, shit, this is what happens when you die. I'm in a fucking alien ship. And then seconds, like a millisecond later, I hear, stop the fentanyl. He's awake. And, like, I immediately realized I'm not on an alien spaceship.
Yeah.
It's just, I think it was the fentanyl. But they came in, they told me what happened. And they're like, what's your name? What's your name? Like, they took the breathing tube out, and then I'm like, water, water. He's like, I can't give you any water. And he's like, we don't know what's wrong with you internally yet. We can't give you water. What's your name? And I swear to God, I told this man, I'm not going to tell you what my name is until you give me water. And he went and he got a sponge, and he sponged my mouth with a wet sponge. And I said, all right, my name's Galen. And he said, where are you from? I said, give me some more water. I'll tell you where I'm from, and I'll give you an emergency contact. And he's like, no, give it to me. I'm like, no, give me water. I cannot breathe. And he goes, and the first time he put mint all over it. Second time he goes to put mint on it again. I said, no mint, just give me regular water. And brings me back the water. And I tell him, I tell him my parents' name, I tell him where I'm from. And then he's like, hey, you got shot. This is where you are. This is what's going on. And then after that, I was just in ICU. I was in ICU for about 3 weeks. I was in direct ICU for 3 weeks because I got shot through the lungs. So for 3 weeks, I had 2 tubes that were 12 inches long from the start of my skin to the inside of my body, hanging out of me, dripping fluid out of my lung cavity my first tube came out 2 weeks after I was in ICU. My second tube came out 3 days before I left ICU.
And how long were you in there?
I was in ICU for, I think, 18 days.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So
No, I was in ICU longer than 18 days. I was in ICU, I think, 24 days.
what did they find out was wrong with your lungs internally from this?
So,
And what type of what bullet was it?
okay, I got shot with a 40 cal.
Okay.
I got shot with, I think, a Smith & Wesson XD 40
Okay.
cal. Point blank, pretty much, about 15 feet from me. What happened was the bullet went through my lung cavity and just completely struck my lung, went right through my lung and collapsed it. As it traveled through, the bullet never actually hit my back to paralyze me because I got paralyzed from the whole event. I'm a T10 paraplegic. Incomplete. Well, I'm complete, but I still have feeling in my legs. I just don't have motor function.
Okay.
Because the bullet actually never hit my spinal cord. The bullet went through and barely nicked my T10 vertebrae, so I never actually had back surgery, nothing like that. But what happened was the velocity of the bullet, like when a bullet goes through water in the movies,
Yeah.
it like expands the water out and bubbles it. Same thing with your blood. It came through my body so quickly that when it broke that bone open, it exposed my spinal cord a little bit, and the velocity of my blood opened up and it squished my spinal cord just like a banana in a peel. So it just kind of flattened it just a little bit, just a little indention, which is enough to paralyze you, apparently.
Yeah.
But like I said, I still have the feeling and stuff, which I'm very grateful for. I'm lucky to have that. But I'm also lucky to not have had back surgery, because my back didn't actually break, but my lungs are pretty messed up. They had to go in and they had to take spray adhesive, like medical grade spray adhesive, spray their outside of my lungs, and then they had to blow it up with like an air compressor type thing. Not exactly that, but that's about the best way that I can describe it. They had to blow it up with like an air compressor, and they inflated my lungs, and they told me, they said, we hope this works. Like, we don't know if this is going to work. This is like our least invasive. If this doesn't work, we're going to have to cut a hole through the back of your rib cage, open you up, and go in there and attach your lung to your lung cavity and allow you to be able to reinflate it like that. So thank God it worked. And that's where those breathing tubes came from, was because I had what's called a hemopneumothorax, which means that blood is entering into a cavity at the same time that air is escaping.
Okay.
So I had blood constantly just pouring into my lung cavity as air escaped. So what the tubes did was, I was on a vacuum, and it would basically just vacuum out pools of blood, like blood that would pool up in the bottom of my lung cavity. And I had one on the outside, one on the inside. And so after that, everything worked out pretty well. with the whole lung thing.
With the lungs, so like there's a hole in it. What do they do? Like if you said they blow it back up, do they like? I mean, how does that work? Do they sew it back? Like how does that work? Like,
So
I mean, you have full functions on both lungs right now.
yeah, full
Yeah.
function on both lungs.
Yeah.
So what they did for that was a process.
Yeah, I
that
bet.
was a
Yeah, I
process
bet.
because you have to heal from the inside out. It's
Right.
not you can't let anything scab over. So when they took those tubes out of me, I got 2 tubes in me about this big around, you know, like 2 holes on me and about that big around, gaping holes. What they do is they take this stuff called, what's it called? It's called something plex, like Metaplex or something like that. It's an artificial skin bandage, and you just keep like Neosporin, like you keep a antiseptic cream on there, and you put this Band-Aid on there, which prevents healing.
Okay.
And so your body, what it does is it keeps the outside from healing, so it allows your body to slowly fill in that gap. So they just leave the holes in you and wait. Let your body heal it.
Okay.
Your body heals itself, and
Okay.
they just wait.
Okay.
So I'd say maybe it took 6 months for me to be able to cough again. Because like if I would cough, like that hole would want to like push open,
Right.
and like all the air would want to escape. So it was painful.
Did I bet? Gosh.
And they didn't let me. I left my rehab facility, to learn like how to do the wheelchair. I was in there for maybe 3.5 weeks. I was in there about 3.5 weeks total. Also, it was about an 8-week experience, a 7-8 week experience. And I came home. They taught me pretty much everything I needed to know about how to live in the wheelchair. But what was hard was still having those holes in me and living in Arizona. I had my dad with me. He stayed for about a month. He was able to stay for about a month. He stayed as long as he could. And, after that, I was basically on my own, and that's what made it hard. I had roommates, but they work,
Yeah.
People can only help so much. I'm newly in a wheelchair. I've only got one hand. My right hand did not work at all. My right hand still doesn't fully work, but I went from 0% function in my right hand to now I'm about 95% function.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, and I had 0% function in my right hand for about 9 months.
When was this? When did this happen? Just 3 years ago, you said?
This happened January 27th, 2021.
Okay,
So
2021,
we're
okay.
coming up on 3 years in a
Okay.
couple of months.
Okay.
And over the time, I've gotten my function back in my hand a little bit. No leg function, but a lot more feeling back. Yeah, I mean, here I am today. I mean, alive. My lungs I got full function in both lungs. Just kicking ass, dude.
Yeah.
That's all I can do.
Yeah. What happened to him? Do you know?
So like I said, he got shot.
Right.
I shot him back.
You shot him with like buckshot or something?
Yeah, buckshot.
Yeah. Oof.
Yeah. I'm not sure exactly where he hit. I'm not exactly sure what injuries he sustained. They told me there was a trail of blood from where he was shot all the way downstairs, all the way out the house. I'm not exactly sure what happened to him, though. Like I said, I don't even know who the kid was. But he got taken to the same hospital as me, unfortunately.
Okay.
When I woke up, I told my nurse was like, "What happened?" I was like, "Dude, someone shot me." I was like, "They broke in our house and shot me." He was like, "Well," I'm like, "What else happened?" I was like, "Man, I shot him back." And he was like, "Really?" I was like, "Yeah, I think I shot him. I'm pretty sure I shot him back with a shotgun. Like, I shot him with a shotgun. I'm pretty sure I shot him back." Well, 15 minutes before I got brought in by the ambulance, a kid had been dropped off with shotgun wounds at the same hospital. So I never gave a statement to the police. I never had to go to court.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, so
I never did anything. The police never talked to me one single time. They never came to my room.
who do they talk to?
They never talked to my lawyer either. When the
Your
kid,
friend? Like,
they just talked to the roommates, and they had security. We had security cameras.
so they never even asked you, hey,
What happened?
what
Hey,
this
am
person
I
look
okay?
like?
I had nothing.
What?
Never came to my hospital room one time.
That's insane.
Not one single time. Was never asked one question by any sort of law enforcement or investigation team or nothing.
What? Did they break in? Do you know what they were wanting? Like, first off, you said it was hard for the police to get in. How did those people break in so easily then if it was hard for the police to get through?
It was hard to get for the police to find the correct address.
Right, but then you said he went out and the door locked, right?
Mm-hmm.
Was the door not locked before? Like,
they came in through the basement. They kicked the basement door open.
Okay.
My buddy owned a record label,
Okay.
and he had a full studio in the basement.
So they were going in there to steal that shit?
Mm-hmm.
And then they went on upstairs, I guess,
And
to try to see what else they can get.
and see on what else they can get, I guess.
And these are young. You said kids, so you think it's someone young, from what you remember?
I think he was younger than me. I'm 28 now. I was 25 when I got shot. I believe he was like 24, 22, 23.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he was younger than me. Now, don't quote me on that, but I believe he was younger than me, just a couple of years.
So you don't know who it was. You
Never
never had
met the
anyone
guy.
ask you anything.
Never had anyone ask me.
What do you, like, how do you feel about that? Like, do you hope the worst for him? Like,
I used to be really angry.
That's what I'm asking.
I used to be
like,
so angry
there's
at
so
the
many
kid.
things I would think, like, you go immediately to. Like, I hope I fucking killed that guy. Just
exactly.
whatever. You know
like,
what I mean?
I used to want a lot on him, but he got 30 years in prison.
Did he?
Yeah,
Okay, so you found that out. So
I
for
did, so-
that, or he had other things?
So one day my mom got a call from the Oregon DA and was like, hey, the guy that shot your son has court in like a week. And I called my lawyer. I'm like, yo, the guy that shot me got court in like a week. Like, what the fuck? You haven't said nothing to me. My lawyer's like, what? He's like, me and the DA are friends. Like, I should have known that. The DA just wasn't, I'm not going to say he wasn't doing his job, because he did the job.
Right.
But they weren't communicating with, I guess, the right channels, or maybe they just didn't have the right info. And so my lawyer never, was even involved with the entire case. They did the entire case solely through the state of Oregon against the guy that shot me.
But he's in prison now. You know that for sure.
30 years flat, no early release. I watched the court case on a video.
So you know
stream.
his name now, and you know who it is, and
Yeah,
okay.
when he had his court case, it was a video stream, because he was in Seattle apparently,
Okay.
and the court case was in Oregon. And so I watched the video stream. I didn't do any commentating or nothing like that. I didn't speak. My mom spoke. She was just like, I'm upset for my son, motherly shit.
Yeah.
I'm so sad, this is ruining our family,
Right.
Those type of things. But I didn't have nothing to say to him. I mean, he's got a long time in prison. I hope that he learns a lot. I hope that there was 4 people that were with him.
Yeah.
I hope it doesn't happen to someone else. But
Well, man, it's just like,
there's not much I can speak on when it comes to him, because I didn't even know the guy. I didn't know him from around the block. I didn't know him from down the street, and I didn't know him as a friend.
what point do you think you weren't mad anymore? Has this just been a process of adjusting, or?
I think that I stopped being mad whenever I got back into bodybuilding.
Okay.
Whenever I got back into being able to live my life again, like I said, I'm a mechanic. I'm a certified mechanic. I'm your back door, around the corner, down the street mechanic.
Yeah.
And but I get shit done, that's for sure. And I think whenever I started working on cars again and started working out again, that's whenever I was like, I can live my life again. Whenever I was dating a girl too for a long time, so that helped a lot. And I don't know, I just got back into my normal life. I got back to the point that ain't shit changed.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, they don't ever get to that point, or it takes them years and years and years. I have friends that have been in the wheelchair longer than me, and they ask me yo, how you doing this, how you doing that? And I just think man, I'm just fucking doing it. That's all you have to do. You just got to do it. And I don't know. I just think that I just don't have the same mindset as everybody else. And I'm cool with that, but this shit just didn't hit me the way it hit some people.
Yeah. It's a lot though, man. That's a lot. It's a lot to, you just gotta be a warrior, bro. That's what you are. It's
Exactly.
obvious. The whole time this happens, I'm just sitting here trying to soak all this in, and everyone listening and watching, I'm sure too. The whole time this happens, you you literally get shot, shoot someone back, and you're not worrying about dying. You're trying to get somewhere to where you could
shoot
fire
again.
another
Yeah,
shot. I'm like, dude,
get-
that's not like a natural response. Like that's not like, I mean, I guess it's a survival response, but it's not like
normal.
you're not wanting to curl up in a fetal position, which is a testament. And that's probably why you've bounced back so quickly too, because you've kept that. It seems like you've kept that,
Yeah, I've definitely kept that momentum going.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest thing. I have friends who have been shot too. And when they got shot, they just laid there and they're just dying, and then they like were alive. And it's like, I could have never done that. I couldn't have just laid there and thought to myself, this is it. I thought to myself, I'm going to battle to the last second. I mean, I was an athlete my whole life, and I hated losing. I did not like to lose. And I played soccer, get red cards, yellow cards a lot. I was a defender too. I'd be smashing people hard. And I was never the biggest guy. So I would hit you like I was 10 times stronger because I knew I wasn't bigger than you.
Yeah.
And so when that happened and that bullet hit me, man, that woke me up. I said, oh shit, this is it. This is real. This is everything that you knew could happen. Like this is what it feels like when you get shot. Like all the times that you're running around in the desert shooting guns, dropping my rifle and picking up my sidearm, because I love to shoot. That was my thing. I love to shoot. And as soon as that bullet hit me, I thought, this is what everything you practice is for.
Okay.
That was literally what I said. Everything that you practiced, this is it right here. Don't give up. And I looked over that shotgun and I went to grab that motherfucker and I said, they ain't gonna get me.
Well, yeah, but even still, just having that reaction, like you not had any like special training or been in
and I was never in the
armed forces,
military
like,
or anything.
or police or like or not put in any tactical situations. This is just like, hey, we're doing this thing. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Hey,
and that's. I mean,
this
look,
is
man,
it, and we're doing it. I ain't
that's
gonna
impressive. It really is. It's impressive. It's impressive that you made it through everything and doing what you're doing now. But it's impressive that just hearing that you had that mentality immediately, and that you remember every single detail. Now I have to ask you, and I'm sure a lot of people ask you this, but like, what about when you die, when you code? Like, what do you see? What does people act like? Are you religious? Like, is it a religion thing? Like, do you see anything? Like,
I've never been the most religious guy.
Okay.
I grew up in the church. I was baptized at birth.
right?
Grew up in an Episcopalian church at St. Paul's. Family's very religious, very spiritual and very religious, both. When I died, I have friends who have died and they say that they saw this white light. When I died, I mean, I'm not going to say that I don't want to like try to swerve anyone's religion.
Right.
But everything for me personally was black.
Okay.
Everything was dark. I didn't have
Is it like you went to sleep?
It was like I went to sleep and woke up. Now, I don't know if my heart didn't stop long enough. I don't know if my heart fully stopped beating. I know that I was resuscitated 3 times. I know that in surgery I died twice.
Okay.
I had a massive blood transfusion. They put more blood in my body in surgery than what your body can hold.
Damn.
Yeah, they gave me 13 bags of blood.
Damn.
Yeah, and they're supposed to stop at 5 and 6 is supposed to stop and call you dead. They're supposed to code you out because it's a waste of blood.
What do you think made them keep doing it?
Honestly, I don't know. To this day, I
That's
ask
interesting.
myself.
That's interesting, right? If they're supposed to code you at 5 or 6 bags and they
gave
gave
me
you double,
13.
yeah, they gave you double. I mean,
To this day,
There
I don't
had to
know.
have been some
and
type
I had
of
coded. I had coded twice already, and like I don't know why they just keep giving me blood and giving me blood and giving me blood.
you would think you would had to have been doing something to make them think you were pulling through, right? Or
That's
something
what
like
I think.
And you don't have like any memories of like any type of traumatic dream or something like when this is
I
happening.
get flashbacks sometimes of something. I don't know what it is though.
Okay.
To this day, I can close my eyes right now, and I can see something, but I don't know what it is I see. I can't see it right. I'm like, I don't know. I can't see it, and I don't really tell people that because they don't get it, and then they try to ask, and I can't explain. But I see myself somewhere, but I don't know where I am.
Okay.
And so I'm not going to say that all I saw was dark.
Yeah.
Because whenever I woke up in the back of the ambulance, all it was dark, and then I woke up. But I remember something being different between the ambulance and me waking up in ICU. I don't know what it was. I just know something was a little bit different. And so, I saw dark. I woke up. When people ask me, I just tell them, though, it was just really dark, and I'm not really sure what happened, because I get a lot of questions.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's a lot. People want to know. Look, that's the one inevitable thing that it scares the shit out of everyone, right? It's dying.
Exactly.
It's going to happen. And no one wants to talk about it. It's like the biggest, like, I don't know, it's like the biggest, like, myth, origin, like, whatever. Like, there's just, like, so many questions, and everyone has all these suggestions and what they think may happen. But I think they do that because they are trying to tell themselves that inevitably this is going to happen to me, and I'm just trying to figure out how I'm going to be able to deal with it.
Exactly.
You know,
I'm just trying to tell myself it's going to be okay.
Yeah, and it's inevitable for us. But yeah, I mean, it's always interesting because I've never had a conversation like with anyone like you right now at all where this has happened to. I've talked to people who've been shot and been through things and stuff like that, and had these horrible experiences. But I don't think I've ever had spoken to someone who's actually coded multiple times, and actually been resuscitated and basically went flatline.
Yeah.
And that's something that I think we all think that in the back of our mind, like what happens, what I mean? What happens? And
I used to think it all the time.
And then you see all these shows where people, these things, they have the experiences, but like you said, for you it was this way, it could be different for someone else, and that does make sense. Have you ever tried to and this is just my mind, bro, but have you ever tried to go on a trip and do a DMT experience, or to try to pull that back and see what that was that you can't picture?
So what's funny enough about that, right before I got shot, I went down to my buddy's house. I don't want to say his name, but I went down to my buddy's house, and I was going to buy a weed farm.
Okay.
And I was trying to retire. It was going to be a legal weed farm.
Right. And
I was like, this is it, man. I'm going to be able to retire, and I can take care of my family with this. My best friend, who's also a bodybuilder, he was in Afghanistan at the time. And I was like, yo, when you come home and you get out the Army, I said, you're going to move up here. We're going to grow weed, bro, and we're going to be rich. I was like, this is it. Well, I was up there touring the farm and everything, and we were smoking DMT.
Okay, so you've done it. Okay.
Yeah, I smoked DMT. I smoked a lot of DMT.
Okay.
And, dude, right before I hit the dab rig with the DMT, all the electricity in the whole camp went out for no reason. It just flashed, it's dark. And I was like, fuck it. Start playing the drums, bro. He's like a pro drummer. He's an amazing drummer. Drum set like 50 drums in front of him, man. It's crazy. And he's playing the drums, doing his thing. I hit the DMT, and all these flames come up from behind him, and I'm like, whoa, shit. And this is kind of have you ever smoked DMT?
No.
Okay, so
I'm for me, weed is just very here and there, certain scenarios,
okay.
bro. I'm super sensitive to everything,
okay,
so
yeah.
I can't even fucking look at a Percocet, bro. Nothing. I can't
heard
do nothing.
That. Don't do Percocet.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying,
PSA.
for reference, any of that shit. You know what I mean?
But no, for real. So when you smoke DMT, you kind of pass out for a second because it it floods your brain so quickly. You kind of nod off into a different realm. It's the best way to describe it. Well, when you kind of wake up, that only lasts seconds, 30 seconds, 45 seconds or so. Well, you kind of wake up, and then you kind of in a weird zone. I'm looking around, and all these entities come out from underneath my buddy's carpet, and they're waving to me underneath the carpet. And I'm thinking to myself, go with them. And then I think, no, the electricity come back on. You can't be that dude crawling on the ground trying to get underneath your friend's carpet, looking like a crazy person. So I said, no, just sit here and look at him. I'm looking at him, I'm like, oh my God, I've never seen this before.
What do they look like?
They were black figures, and they look like Slender Man style figures.
Okay, gotcha.
Solid black like a shadow.
Okay.
3 of them waving me like this, slowly, but they're under the carpet. They're under the carpet, holding the carpet up, looking out from the floor, waving me down into the floor. And 3 days later, I got shot and died.
Fuck, man.
And I had never had any experience like this on DMT ever.
What were your previous experiences like?
Previously, I would have
like enlightenment?
crazy, not enlightenment. I would have like kind of like self-epiphanies
Okay.
on what I wasn't doing right and the way that I wanted to project myself forward in the future. And I would usually see lots of geometric shapes and colors, like reds, blues, bright colors, greens, and lots of geometric shapes going around. Very stagnant vision. But this time, I was fully vision focused, looking at these entities, thinking, wow, this is weird. I've never felt this. And all the electricity went off seconds before I hit it too, for no reason. And then a couple of days later, I died.
I wonder, what do you think? Like, what do you think if you would have went down that hole? Like, you think that would
I
have
always
been
wonder.
that'd have been like securing your fate to not make it through what happened? You know,
I do. I think that if I would have got on that floor and crawled over to that hole, this sounds crazy, but I feel like in some way maybe I would have given up my soul to the physical realm and allowed a spiritual realm to grab onto my soul, and I would have died and moved on over to another side.
That makes sense. Look, it makes sense to me. That I mean, the way that you put that in that, you know, I've had very, very wild ass experiences just and not even DMT, like just with edibles and different strains and stuff, and they freak me the fuck out. And what I tell people all the time is like, I'm content with where I am now, and sometimes I'm scared to open a door where there may be a past version of me or a dark side of me that I don't want to deal with. You know what I mean? Like, that door's already shut.
I know exactly what you mean.
It scares the fuck out of me, and I always think that, and for some reason that's always in the back of my mind if I ever do anything that's mind altering. So I'm just so fucking paranoid about that, you know. And most people are paranoid, like, oh my God, I'm gonna die, or oh my God, I'm gonna get caught, you know, or am I gonna get in trouble? But my paranoia is like, am I gonna open a door that I've finally closed that I don't need to open again? You know what I mean?
That's what I like about it. I used to eat a lot of acid and a lot of mushrooms.
That's a whole nother thing. Yeah, and the shroom thing's cool too, because that's more of a happy, like, you know, you get different vibes there. But when you go
LSD, yeah. See, I loved LSD more than shrooms, because shrooms was like a fun party thing to do with my friends, or like if I ate a lot of shrooms, I would just stay at home and kind of focus on myself. But the acid was a testament to myself. The acid was yo, if I'm going to eat this LSD, I know that this is about to be a wild ride, and I got to be strong. I got to be prepared for it. And that's what I liked. I like to push myself. I like to push my mental boundaries a lot.
Well, I think
I like to race cars.
Yeah.
I like to go 200 miles an hour on motorcycles. I like to push my boundaries.
Well, there's so much to it that people don't think about. These things are in controlled environments, they're very useful, right? And there's so many studies proving that. I'm not just talking bullshit here. And if anyone they look it up, you know, whatever. But like, there's so much benefits to, you know, treating trauma and you know, things like that, and in controlled states, you know, and microdosing this and doing that. Like, there's a lot of use to them, but a lot of what people have seen is just someone abusing it, or it used in the wrong scenario, and them not having the, you know, the same experience, and also not being able to relate to maybe why they would be doing these things. But I never looked like it. It fascinates me. That whole world fascinates me. Do I want to partake in it? No, just because I think I'm good, you know. But I feel like if I ever felt like I needed to, you know, touch this or try to reach for this as something I can't achieve mentally, that maybe I could do this and, you know, reach that. But it does fascinate me, and I always like talking to people about it, because especially around here, there's a limited amounts of people, and then like on a broad perspective, there's so many people that just do it just because it's a trend thing.
Yeah, exactly.
And they don't really, they've never, everyone's dealt with their own shit, but they haven't been through something like what you've been through. You know what I mean? And yes, everyone's heart's different, right? You know, you're only, you know, like the worst thing you've been through is the worst thing you've ever been through, right? But whenever someone like, you know, you yourself, who's been through something like this dramatic and traumatic, and you can like literally just say, okay, well, this may have helped me and go through this process, you know what I mean? But pushing your boundaries and strengthen your mental fortitude, I mean, essentially is it speaks a lot. And that may be why, like you said, that may be why that you were so vividly thinking, your reaction was there. You were worried about the details. You were thinking about not speaking because you wanted to, like, all that's just insane to me to think about, that every single thing that your response time and how you can remember these things is like you were cut and dry. Like you weren't like.
Yeah, I was dialed in 1, 2, 3, 4. There was no, I need to think about doing this. I need to think about doing that. And I do agree. I think that the mental journey that I put myself on with all the hallucinogenic trips that I've had definitely allowed me to stay mentally sharp in a very chaotic situation. Because, man, I've had some like crazy trips before, eaten too much LSD before, I've eaten too much acid before. Man, I've had some wild times with some friends and stuff, and scary times too. I had one time, it was pretty scary. It was, dude, I thought I was getting kidnapped by my friends, and then I ordered an Uber away from their house, and I thought that they had set me up in the Uber. I thought the Uber driver was kidnapping me.
Damn.
No, it was crazy, dude. I had my girlfriend with me. I thought my girlfriend was all in on it and shit. I'm texting her on my notes. I'm like, "Are you kidnapping me?" I'm handing her my phone. She texts me back, "No, I thought she was on just as much acid as me." She texts me back, "No, I thought you were kidnapping me." I said, "Oh, we're good then."
Yeah.
Oh man.
Well, I mean, what point do you think, like, from recreation to therapeutic, like, do you think now, like, if you are using any of those things or doing anything like that, or is it purely therapeutic now, not so much just trying to have fun with it?
So before it was recreation and therapeutic.
Okay.
I would definitely have my times where I'd use it recreationally.
Yeah.
But mainly, I would never really eat mushrooms or acid or anything and go out to like parties and stuff like that. If I was with friends and I was tripping, they were tripping,
right.
And we were all in someone's house, and we'd all kind of like set it up. Now, if we were eating like a lot, then we would have a real controlled environment, because that's kind of when we would like kind of be quiet to ourselves and in our own thoughts, and really trying to like get past some mental barriers, break through some mental barriers that maybe we didn't even know that we were being held back by. And now, when I eat mushrooms, that's definitely what I do.
Yeah.
Now it's I don't eat them often. I've only eaten mushrooms probably 4 times since I've been shot, maybe 3 or 4 times. And I used to eat mushrooms like a lot.
a lot.
And but now they make my legs spasm real bad.
Okay.
Like I said, I still feel my legs, and all my nerves fire, like rapid fire. I'm talking, you can see my legs look like waves in the ocean because of muscle fibers are flowing so quickly. And so it's kind of hard for me to enjoy it. So if I do eat mushrooms, then I'm like laying back at home. 1 or 2 of my close friends are around, they're tripping, we're like watching movies, and we're just chilling. I don't do it for recreational at all anymore.
Yeah, I got you. Well, like, you've gotten use back in your arm, and you have feeling in your legs. Do you have like, this may be a fucked up question to ask, but dude, I'm 100% transparency here. Like, I'm thinking, like, do you have these like hopes, like, that maybe one day those things will work again? You know, are you
so
have you accepted where you're at now? And if that does happen, cool. You know, kind of where's your mental state there?
I've accepted where I am now.
Right.
I've had a great life since I've been paralyzed. I had a great life before. I did a lot more than most 25-year-olds would have ever done. And if you check my background and like how I lived my life and everything, and where I would go and like how I travel, I mean, I lived my life. I lived in Las Vegas. I lived in Southern California. I lived in Northern California. I lived in Denver. Lived down here. You know, I've got all these different experiences of life. I haven't lived out the country, but I've got all these different walks of life from America, at least. And so I really got to experience a lot. And now I'm getting to experience a lot more, because when I experience things now, I experience it for the experience and not for, I don't really even know how to put it. I'm in the moment more. I think that's the best way I can
Well, you value your life more.
I value my time.
Yeah, and your time.
Before, I didn't really care. I'd just be like running around smoking weed and like chilling and
living for the moment.
Yeah, just like living. And then like I'd smoke a bunch of weed before I go to the event, and I would like sometimes I wouldn't even remember halfway being at the event. I'm like, well, shit, I know I was there.
Yeah,
I remember enjoying it, but I don't remember the exact details.
Yeah.
But now, like, I like being sober, and like I don't drink anymore at all. I don't really go out to bars. I'm mentally focused on what I want. I see my family a lot more. Me and my dad have a great relationship now. We've always had a good relationship, but I never really would take the time to talk to my family. I'd be like, on the phone for 5 minutes. I'm in another state living there, and then, yep, love you, bye. Now me and my dad, me and my mom will talk on the phone for an hour, 2 hours, and be like, fuck, we got to get off the phone. All right, I'll talk to you later. And so I just get to enjoy who I am and what I have going on around me more, because before I didn't appreciate it.
Yeah.
And I didn't know I didn't appreciate it. I had no idea I didn't appreciate it. I mean, friends, family, loved ones, girlfriend at the time, I just let shit walk right on out my life. I didn't care.
Yeah.
Now I try to make sure that shit's correct.
Yeah. Do you think this higher power like kept you here for any singular purpose or something like that? Do you have any of those thoughts?
Yeah, I think I'm here to help younger kids realize that maybe living in the streets isn't all it's cracked up to be. Because I don't know, I got shot. I've met a lot of people who have gotten shot, and I know a lot of people who are probably doing things that they shouldn't be doing that could get them shot. And I just think that my purpose is kind of to show people that people don't see, like, a way. Like the people that are in the back corner that no one's talking to, that need help also. Those are the people that I help.
I got you.
Not the people that are on the front line showing their ass everywhere. I like to help the people that think that no one's going to help them.
Yeah. Well, the bodybuilding thing.
Yeah.
So you're a pro bodybuilder.
I am a pro
Tell me how that happened, bro. That's awesome.
All right, dude.
Because
So,
we didn't even get into that. Like most people would leave with that. I'm like, nah, bro, we're getting in the nitty gritty
Yeah.
first, and we'll do the shiny stuff at the end.
So, shout out to my brother CJ. Rest in peace. He passed away in 2018. He was a bodybuilder, and he was good. He was fantastic. His name is CJ Harris. He was a big bodybuilder from around here, and he made it to the Olympia, not to the main Olympia, to the amateur Olympia. He did his thing there and stuff, but he was on the Olympia stage. And then he passed away. I never really wanted to do bodybuilding. I was always like, I like to work out. I don't want to get up there flexing my muscles for all these people and shit. Like, you know, I don't want to do all that shit. It's not really for me. I love my friends that do it. I like going to this stuff. I love the lifestyle, but I don't want to physically be on the stage. I just want to train like it. Well, when he passed away, I was like, oh, I'm going to do it one day. And but I was never living for my own life. I was just living for the next adventure. And then I got shot. And then I started realizing that I need to live for what makes me happy, and not what's just fun for right now. Like what's gonna make me actually internally happy. So I started training again, and I was like, I'm gonna do it this time. I'm gonna get back on the stage. I'm gonna get on the stage, and I'm gonna win something. And so obviously I'm in the wheelchair, so I had to do a wheelchair bodybuilding league. So I started training and stuff. When I got out the hospital being shot, I was 122 pounds. I got up to about 155 pounds in about 2 years. I gained about 30 pounds in 2 years back. And then I cut down and I competed at a little old 130 pounds.
Okay.
Which, I didn't even know I was that light. I thought I was like 145. They weighed me, I was like 130. I was like, damn, I cut a lot back down. But I looked pretty good, and I ended up winning my IFBB Pro Card at that show. I did the Dallas National Show in June 2023.
Awesome.
And I had a couple guys that were good competition, a couple of my friends. But now I got my Pro Card, and now I got the real competition coming up. So I've got the Arnold Classic coming up in March, around March. That'll be my pro debut. So I'm being coached right now by Chelsea Worsher. And I hope I said her last name right. But yeah, she's a professional bodybuilder. She's an Olympian, and she's top ranked. She's within, I think she's like top 16 in the world. I think she's like 16th in the world.
Okay.
And yeah, she's my coach. And shout out Chelsea. And she does great. She's got me on a good meal plan, got me on a good workout, and we've been working together for about 2 months. Since I've been down here, I've been slacking a lot.
Well, you got a while. You just need to put on some. I'm sure you just need to put on some muscle right now.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just trying to put on some size right now. I've
Yeah.
been eating a lot. Just haven't been training much while I've been down here. But I'll go back to Phoenix in about a week, and then I'm fully 100% dive back in, no games being played. And so I love the bodybuilding thing, man. My brother was so into it and he loved it. And like I said, I was never into it and he passed away. And being an Olympian is something he wanted to do. And he didn't get the chance to do it. And so I'm just going to kind of fulfill that destiny.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. That's a whole nother thing. Like, you know what I mean? That's not to mention, like, I get on my soapbox, bro. I get excited. I can't stand lazy people. I can't stand people that are fucking overweight the only reason is because they want to fucking be. You know what I mean? It's not because they attribute it to some kind of bullshit. You know, like, of course, if you get that, you let yourself get that far, you're gonna have some kind of fucking health issue.
Shit don't happen overnight.
No, it doesn't.
It don't happen overnight.
No, dude, it took you 30 years to get this fucking big. You didn't, you know. But like, so just like a testament to you and to everyone to realize that, like, you are sitting here and you have limited capabilities, but it's opened up a whole nother part of your life, and really you seem to have more capability than everyone, just because people don't realize. I just don't think they realize their potential. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, people don't realize what they have.
Yeah.
And then they lose it, and then they say, oh, well, shit, I should have. And that's what I did. I lost my ability to walk and stuff, and I thought I should have done this, I should have done that differently. But now it has allowed me to have an understanding of, I don't need to ever think I should have, I just need to do. If I want to get it done, I get it done. I have a to-do list now. If I have it on my to-do list, it's to do. It's not to look at, it's to do.
Hell yeah.
Because, I mean, I'm a procrastinator. I told my dad the other day, I said, I did my, my procrastinatics wrong. He said, what's that? I said, my procrastination mathematics. Shit, I thought I had extra time before my flight. I woke up out of my sleep. I said, I got 45 minutes to get to the airport.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm still procrastinating, but I know who I am. I know that I'm limited now. So I know that I need to overcome myself by being a better version of me. And that's what I've become. Because these limitations that I have with the wheelchair will not limit me from being all I can be.
Yeah.
And I think that people with no limitations, or with very, very limited limitations, just try to play a woe is me story for themselves so that they have an excuse on why they're not getting shit done. Like, oh, this hurts, or oh, that hurts, or oh, I don't have enough time. That's the biggest excuse I hate. I don't have enough time.
Oh yeah, dude, I can't stand that one.
If you don't have enough time, why do I have enough time? Because I'm pretty sure you got the same amount of time in the day. We both work. We both got shit going on. We both live full-fledged lives. We both got friends. It's just some people choose to do things that don't constructively enhance their life. The things that I choose to spend my time with constructively enhance my life, and the things that don't, I choose to not to do.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm not no better than nobody else, but I'm more focused, and being in the wheelchair has allowed me to realize that I need to stay that way.
Yeah, man, I think that's it's huge, man. It is. I had I think Jesse's last name is Strachem or something like that. But she's in a wheelchair. She had an accident.
It's Jesse Strahan.
Yeah, Jesse Strahan. So I had an episode with her, and it's been a long time ago. It was back when we were doing Zoom episodes during COVID and stuff.
Okay, yeah.
So you know her?
I know of her.
Yeah, she does like Tough Motors and shit.
Yeah, me and her know of each other.
Y'all seem to have similar mentalities, but she mentioned
she's a
badass. Well, dude, you are too, bro. You definitely are. But like she brought something up to my attention. It just made me think about it. And she's like, people don't realize how much time they have until how much time is taken away from them. Because she says, it takes twice as long for me to get out of bed, twice as long for me to get in bed, twice as long for me to take a shit, twice as long for me to wash my ass, and so on and so forth. And like, if you think you don't have time, can you imagine like getting all that cut, like doubling all that time? You know what I mean?
Imagine getting in the car and it takes you 45 seconds to a minute and a half every single time to get your wheelchair apart.
Yeah.
And you got to do that 15 times in a day, 16 times in a day, because you got to get in and out.
Yeah.
But I mean, shit, you spend 30 minutes to an hour just getting in and out your car. And I'm not going to lie, dude, I pull up to a place, I sit in my car for a minute, a minute or two, I look over, I say, here we go again, buddy. I'm like, you heavy motherfucker. I got to lug your ass out this big-ass truck.
Dude, that's awesome because I know I've seen, you know, and I think her and I talked about this, and I'm sure you've run across it too. There's some people that it happens to and it takes their whole life and they let it consume them.
Yeah, and that's what I mean when I say I feel like I'm here for the persons in the back of the room that thinks no one's looking at them. Yeah. The people that I feel like it consumes into the people who were the wallflowers before. And now they reach out to me. They'll reach out to me with 0 Instagram posts because they've erased every picture and they're embarrassed of the wheelchair. I have a friend, I don't think he'll mind me saying his name. His name's Jared. He would never post any pictures in the wheelchair. And he got shot like 2 weeks before me in Portland also. And I messaged him. I said, dude, post a picture. Post a picture. Post a picture. No, post a picture. One day he posted a picture, messaged me, yo, dude, you got me to post this picture. And now he does nothing but post himself doing everything he does. And he went from the wheelchair destroying him to breaking his own barriers and allowing himself to live his life again. Now he's whipping around in his fucking AMG, his nice-ass AMG, getting in and out, like living his life. Like, and he does this damn thing. You know, he's posting all the time. He's helping inspire other people now. And I feel like that's kind of why I was here, to help people realize who that they can be so that they can keep on inspiring. I may not be able to touch every single person, but I can touch 2 or 3 who are going to touch 2 or 3 who are going to touch 2 or 3. Yeah,
that's a good way to look at it, man. I think there's a lot to be said. I think that most people just they need to stop and pay attention, man. Mm-hmm. And I'm guilty of it too. We all are, you know. We all are. But you know, when you take something for granted and you don't, you know, and you really don't realize you do until, you know, look at someone who's, you know, been through it and can tell you, hey, look, man,
this ain't it. You know, you gotta stop and smell the roses every now and again. No matter how gangster you are.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. Well,
no matter who you are.
It's been a good time catching up with you today. Dude, is there any shout outs, any plugs, anything, any last words, anything you want to throw out there?
Yeah, man, I want to give a shout out. I want to give a shout out to my gym because they're awesome. They're with accessibility and with helping me out. Like when I go to the gym, dude, when I go to my gym, TG's, it's called The Gym. It's in Mesa, Arizona. When I go there, man, they've offered to buy me hand cycles for equipment. They've offered to move stuff around. They come and they rack and unrack my weights. They're like, oh, the dumbbells, just kind of put them close. Don't worry about getting them up there, you know. We'll get it. They're awesome. They got my back, and I stick with them. They've helped me out a lot because the bodybuilding thing is what I do. That's what I love to do, and they make it accessible for me in a much easier manner than it is at a lot of other places.
Hell yeah. What's your Instagram? How can anybody find you?
Man, you can find me on Instagram at monster_jam with 2 M's and then another underscore after the jam. You can find me on Facebook, Galen Grigsby. And you can find me on TikTok. I think it is IFBB _monster jam. It's something like that. Okay. But if you type it in, something like that, you guys will find it.
Okay, cool. Well, dude, it's been an honor to sit down with you today, dude. Yeah. Sorry it got cold in here, bro. I apologize for that. We're in a temporary setup, but dude, it's been an honor, and I appreciate your time, bro.
Thank you so much for having me, brother.
Yes, sir.